Vidhammer Fantasy.
Welcome back to Vidhammer. I'm Spudlow, and in this video I'll be covering a 2,250 point tournament that was played at Darkside Comics last year. When exactly I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was in October, possibly November. This is where I use a high elf list involving Teclis, and I track my progress through all 3 rounds. To give you a quick heads up, the full list that I'm using involves Teclis as the root of everything, a Noble BSB with the Banner of Swiftness, that gives you +1 movement, a unit of 15 archers with the Banner of Eternal Flame, giving them flaming attacks. That's for the inevitable use of a Hell Pit Abomination or something that uses regeneration. 2 blocks of 40 spearmen and 1 block of 40 white lines of trace that have the Banner of Sorcery. This is one that gives you an extra D3 dice in both magic phases. That really turns magic toward this list in a big way, because Teclis channels a D3 as well on my magic phase. So I'm pulling in 2 D3 on my phase and an extra D3 on my opponent's magic phase. That helps. For the actual scenario, we start out with meeting engagement, and my opponent Alex with the Ogre Kingdoms goes first. This is real good for me because I need to play highly defensive against this army list. We roll for our units. Alex gets to deploy all of his units, and 1 of my spearman blocks gets held in reserve. It's not great, but I'll live. For unit setup, he puts everything up on his line, straddling this fist in the middle, with the sabertusks on the end caps. Since he had to deploy everything first, he couldn't heavily populate any specific area. Unfortunately, ogres are so big that he still takes up the whole front line, even though we're on the diagonal. I put everything on the bottom so that I only have to fight a few of his units at once. This will make my magic a lot more effective. I can focus on just a couple of units and make them really powerful. The forest turns out to be a venom thicket. It's dangerous terrain, but you get poison attacks. On for the first turn, he marches up with everything, but realistically only 2 of the big units will be able to charge next turn. Magic is 5 versus 6. Thanks to my little extra casting, he looks at it for a while and then just forgoes casting it all. The ironlaster shoots for the white lions and gets a single archer along with 4 white lions. Over to my turn. I have the white lions charge the mournfang cavalry, who flee. It's always nice when you can make the ogres run. I redirect into the bulls and have the spearmen charge them as well. The spearmen make it, but 4 of them stay in the forest. The reserve spearmen come on the board, and they have to come in on the long board edge, so I put them as far from the upper units as I can while still being actually useful. Magic is 12 versus 6. Only 1 unit in combat, which is the best scenario for me, so I throw 6 dice for Occam's Mind Razor on the spearmen. I get doubles, irresistible, but there's no miscast. Then I go for 6 dice for Enfeebling Foe at the higher level on the bulls. True irresistible, but Teclis ignores his first miscast. Lowers the brute's toughness by 3. For shooting, the archers shoot at the dog who's in the forest, and I only get a single wound. In combat, I pass the fear check. I initially rolled too many dice here. That's why you see me roll 2 big sets of dice. After I re-roll, I end up doing 25 wounds, killing off 8 ogres. He hits back for 1 wound and 1 stomp. The ogres need a snake eyes. They fail and run and get cut down. Ogre's turn 2. The saber-tusk charges the archers. I either forget to stand and shoot or they're too close. I don't know. Either way, it's pretty bad. The mournfang rally. Other units move up, and he moves his BSB out of his unit. I assume to be closer to the mournfang. Magic ends up 8 versus 5. He uses 2 dice for Bullgorger on the mournfang, and then 2 for Toothcracker on the mournfang, and finally 3 for Trollguts on the mournfang, which becomes irresistible and the caster takes a wound in the backlash. I didn't try to stop any of these. I was waiting for him to cast something on the sabertusk. With the mournfang not being in combat, it didn't really matter to me. I wasn't intending to charge them, so I just let them do what they wanted to do. In shooting, the Iron Blaster shoots for the spearmen on the left. We have a debate about the validity of line of sight, since the shot goes over the front quarter of the mournfang's bases. But the models that Games Workshop uses for mournfangs doesn't occupy that space on the actual base. But if it did, he would just have to move the Iron Blaster over a little bit further, so we don't really worry about it. It ends up taking out a single spearman. Sabertusk combat. I hit for no wounds. He has 3 attacks, gets 3 hits, and 3 wounds. Teclis dies, game over. As if it's not bad enough, I lose combat, fail the break test twice, and flee off the board. White Lions take a panic test, and they pass. So that's the turning point of the entire game. I was going to kick ass until that happened. Now, I suck ass. I don't have much hope at this point. Things will be a lot worse if I let him charge me, so I attempt to charge his Iron Guts with both of my units, but they both fail, so I line up like a nice little buffet. Since a cat ate my magic phase, and my shooting phase decided to run off the board, we move on to turn 3. The mournfang goes straight for the dessert, while the Iron Guts head over to the salad bar. The others move up, eyeing the main course as the BSB moves into the upper bowls. Magic ends up 7 versus 5. 2 dice for Bullgorger on the Iron Guts, 2 for Toothcracker, which I dispel, and then 3 for Trollguts on the Iron Guts, which I try to dispel but fail. In shooting, the Iron Blaster hits the White Lions for 3 wounds. In combat, over on the dessert tray, I lose 3 to impact hits, I fail to wound, lose 3 to attacks, and 2 to stumps. I'm steadfast, but I fail and run and get caught. And the Iron Gut Salad Shooter does 2 impact wounds, then I fail the fear test twice and go to weapon skill 1. Here we see the other side of the coin, as I fail to wound and take 15 more. He doesn't catch them when they flee, but they run off the board, bit of a brown trouser style. For me, the White Lions charge the Iron Blaster because it's closer. I need a 10, but I fail, and dinner is served. But no one's hungry for lions, so his guys back up and jostle. Magic is pretty much useless. The Iron Blaster shoots for a single wound, but it gets saved. It's my turn, but it's basically like numbsacks. You can go through the motions, but you're not going to feel anything. I march up to the mournfang, just so I can run away from them next turn. After we clown around a bit, I call the game, so I have enough time to put the Teclis model up my ass before the next round. So that was the first round. Now you know what happens with a Teclis list that doesn't have any Teclis. Check out our link for the second round. Do us a favor and subscribe, like the video if you want to see more, and as always, send us a comment if you have any tactics or matchups you'd like to see. Till next time from the Vidhammer crew, keep fighting. Probably expecting the bonus video to be me trying to put Teclis up my ass. Maybe he was there the whole time.